I have a lot of anxiety, and I had anxiety before it was cool, okay? Yeah, now these days, everyone I meet is like, Kanan, these days I just can't. Kanan, these days I just can't. Well, I couldn't, okay? I cannot have been. Where were you then? I had anxiety when they called it worrying. Respect your elders. I like worrying. I prefer worrying as a word because it facilitates conversation. Tell someone you have anxiety, they don't know what to say back, right? Like, I have anxiety. They'll be like, bro. Same. But if you tell someone you're worried, they will give you immediate actionable advice, right? They'll be like, dude, don't worry. Don't worry, of course. No one says don't anxiety.
And I want my first movie to be called White Boys in the Hood. Starring Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. You know? I want to recreate all those famous scenes. You know the one where Ricky get killed in the alley? Instead, it's Zac Efron. You know? Matt and Zach are side by side walking down the alley, aimlessly scratching lottery tickets, drinking whole milk. You know? Matt sees out of the corner of his eye a red car at the end of the alley. The window cracks. It's Ben Affleck in there. And he got the shotgun, right? Cue the saxophone. Matt turns to Zach. Zach doesn't see it coming, so he goes, Zachary! Boom! Zach goes down. Then out of nowhere, Jack Black pull up in the Subaru. Oh, good! This is gnarly. They scoop his body up, take him to his mom's house, dump him on the couch. She starts screaming hysterically, oh my God, what are you doing? What did you do? He just got a scholarship to play lacrosse.
Texas had a wild thing going on the past few years, the past few like election cycles, during like the Beto era and all that. In the run up to the election, you'll start seeing these coastal journalists. They'll start putting out these articles and analysis and shit, coming out being like, don't look now. This could be the year, y'all. Some intriguing polling numbers. This could be the year that Texas turns. Who knows? The world's not ready for that. And then every election night, Texas is like, gotcha, queers. Y'all actually bought that shit, huh? No, we wilder than ever, baby. We got abortion posses. We're FedEx and Mexicans. What's up? Let's go. You want some? We'll send you some. What kind you want? We got all kinds. We got Guatemalan Mexicans, Costa Rican Mexicans, you name it, buddy. Texas.
And you still want to get mad at us and act like we're the crazy ones making this shit up. Oh, that is so ridiculous. Why would a guy go through all that trouble and pretend to be my friend just to sleep with me? I don't know. But I've done it so many times. I've done it so many times. How do you think I got you, stupid? Come on. Oh my God. Nobody has been a better friend than me. Are you kidding me? That's why dudes can spot the shit, because fucking game recognized game. You know what I mean? He'll do some shady shit and we're like, fucking good move. That's what shit I would have done, you know? Fuck you, but respect.
Like, I'm 6'4.5". My mama thought I was going to the NBA. Yeah. Like, she thought she was gonna never have to work again. Like, I was her meal ticket. I was like, lady, don't quit your job, right? Remember my senior year, she came in cursing me out like, you can't make a layup? You can't make a free throw? They fucking free, right? She's like, you ain't never gonna be able to get a scholarship playing like this. I guess I'm be working at Walmart, so I'm 75 fucking with you. I'll be like, hey, how you doing? Welcome to Walmart. My name Marilyn. I'm Sydney, mama. Like, who is Sydney? The nigga on the register. Say hi. They talking to you. Like, hey, how y'all doing?
I had a beard for a while. Then I got a girlfriend who doesn't like beards, and she was really subtle about it. She'd say things like, "Oh, you have a beard, huh? Some of my friends like guys with beards." I was like, "Oh, that's weird. Some of my friends like when people say things directly." This is a true story. I got an audition for that show Billions, and I told her about it. She's like, "Do you have to shave for the audition?" Only question she had about the audition. Do I have to shave for it? No, I don't have to shave for it. It's an audition. It's not like they're going to watch my tape and go, "Oh my God, he's perfect." But this character's clean shaven. There's no easy fix for this. We'll go with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Quick side note on the Kansas City Zoo. You know they say elephants are aware that they're in captivity because they're so smart? I locked eyes with an elephant at the Kansas City Zoo, and not only could I tell that it knew it was in captivity, it felt like it knew it was in Kansas City. You know what I mean? There's just something in its eye. It's the saddest animal I've ever seen on the planet.
The only big age gap between a man and a woman where the woman's older is Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte. You know the president of France, Emmanuel Macron? Looks a bit like Ted Bundy. He does, have a look. And do you know he was 16 when he met her and she was 40? She was his teacher. Creepy. Creepy, but so French. Imagine she'd be like, "No, Emmanuel, no. Oh, Emmanuel, I have meats and cheeses and wines older than you. No, oh, okay, vive la France."
Immediately get a call from my friend, okay? She just called, which is not allowed. You have to follow the protocol of first messaging, like, "Hey, are you free to chat for a bit?" Right? And you see that message, and you are free, but you're not that free. You know? And you're not doing anything, but you could be doing so many things. So when you receive that message, you just let it rest for a bit. Like a souffle, you're like, get some space. And later when you know they're not free, then you're like, "Hey, now can we chat?" Then they don't reply. And then one day, both of you die. But if someone just calls you like, "This better be good." So I picked up, I was like, "Yeah." My friend is like, "Kanan, take me to the..." It's not how she normally talks. "Excuse me. Kanan, take me to the..." I was like, "One more time. Take me to the..." And I realized she's trying to say hospital. Yeah. But then I started enjoying myself. One more time. I just really like making this sound. Yeah. Because, dude, vomiting is the only thing that if you pretend to do it enough, people will do it. It's a superpower all of us have. No one is using. Try it, your friends are like, "Why are you late?" "I'm so sorry." Dude, if you are ever held at gunpoint, right? Which is like, here it's gonna happen. So, when you are held at gunpoint, something to try. Someone's like, "Give me all your money." You're like, you can escape. Boy's looking out for you. So then I got a cab, went and picked up my friend, asking someone on the road, "Excuse me, where's the nearest hospital?" Like I was like, "Oh, hospital is straight." Obviously go to the emergency room, right? I run in first, I'm like, "Doctor, it's an emergency." My friend is behind, she's like, and the doctor says, "Who is the patient?" I was like, "Is it not clear, sir?" I am the patient. She's like this. No, she just vomits socially. Dude, I don't know why emergency room doctors are never impressed with your emergency. Right? It's such a big deal for you. Least they can do is like, "Wow, How did you do this? But no matter what you go with, they're like, so, you've got a knife in your butt. So, go stand in the knife in the butt line. Full line of people with knives in their butts. Hello, how are you? Back again, I say, yes, you know how I live. So now, they put my friend on a bed. Emergency room is empty because it's the afternoon. And we know emergencies happen at night. I know. Nothing crazy. Afternoon urgent, night emergent. Only one other guy in the emergency room. And he's on a bed in the corner, connected to a machine that goes beep every few seconds. Okay, so the soundtrack of the emergency room is beep, beep, beep. It's like, I'm going to leave. Because it was becoming catchy. Okay. Later, if I'm like, people are like, hey, whose song is that? Like, have you heard Emergency Room? So, I go to the bathroom, and I'm washing my hands, and we've all had to do a lot of hand washing past couple of years. Everybody saw the diagram of like, oh, you have to do thumb also like this. Oh, okay. They don't address the main problem with washing your hands, is that the tap is also dirty. I know. Open the tap, wash your hands, close the tap, dirty again. Open the tap, wash your hands, close the tap, dirty again. So what we have to do is, you open the tap, first you wash the tap. No other country is playing this 5-dimensional chess. Oh, you wash me, I wash you. How about that? Usually what happens, one brave person goes and opens it with their wrists and leaves that water flowing forever. Now this wastes a lot of water. To solve the problem of water wastage, they made push-button taps that give you the wrong amount of water. So then what? You have to press it with one hand and do this with your other hand. We've all done this. What exactly is this accomplishing? No, bro, I wash the top part of my hand with the bottom part of my hand, and that way I circulate the dirt. Dude, now after COVID, everything automatic, right? Including automatic soap dispenser, in which it's impossible to tell when the soap will come out. You put your hand under it, it goes no soap. Soon as you give up, you look on the counter, there's a full river of semen-white public soap. When you're done washing your hands, you do this for some time. This is fun. And you have to make your next decision, right? Are you this person? Or more dangerous. If I can't see it, nobody can. And as you walk away from people, they'll just see like streaks of water on your upper thigh. And you're like, who sweats like this? Right? But if you have integrity, you go to the automatic hand dryer, right? It's a device I've seen since the late 80s, and it works based on personal confidence. If you are sure in your existence, you can activate automatic hand dryers. Slight bit of uncertainty, no. Person before you goes like, hey, what's up? Next person, hey, how's it going? And then you go. Then you start to have a mental breakdown. You're like, okay, I have an engineering degree, there is a sensor here. All I must do is find and activate this sensor to achieve maximum. And then someone sees you and you have to be like, no, hey, hey. So I finish washing my hands, go back to the emergency room, and I'm laughing at my little hand dryer joke. I pre-laugh at all my jokes, okay? I find audiences are not always reliable. So, maybe you laugh, maybe you won't laugh. It's your problem, right? Before I come to the show, I go through all my jokes. I'm like, very funny, good boy, done. So I go back to the emergency. My friend hears this and she gets pissed off, okay? She's like, Karan, you're laughing? I'm in so much pain. What are you laughing about? So I told her, I was like, sometimes an automatic hand, next person, then you go. Right. Okay, I mean, it's a little funny. So now we're both laughing, right? So, beep. Doctor comes in. She's pissed off. She's like, hey, this is a hospital. What are you laughing about? Don't create ruckus here. Very big problem in India. The creation of ruckus. There wasn't ruckus here. Why have you made this ruckus? Can't just laugh here, huh? What's so funny? What are you laughing about? So I told her, so sometimes an automatic hand, and you go. Okay, it's a little funny. So beep. Two new girls entered the emergency room, okay? Now they've fallen off a bike. They come with torn jeans, bleeding legs, limping like, doctor, help us. It's an emergency. Who is the patient? Oh, it's our bike. We're in so much pain. But since we're here, what are you guys laughing about? Sometimes an automatic hand and both we do And so now we're all laughing, right? So currently, the soundtrack of the emergency room is Yeah, while we were laughing, someone just died. And all of us will also die. So give up your dreams. Death is coming. Let's party. Welcome to the show. Woo!
I deal with a chronic illness, right? I spend a decent amount of time in the hospital. And usually these days when I do, people think it's COVID related. And I'm like, no, it's not COVID. It's sickle cell. I only support black illnesses. We got a few now. We got sickle cell, diabetes, and ever since Jada, we got alopecia. She put her head in the game, you know? It's the truth, man. Sickle cell is tough. It basically mutates my red blood cells. Sickle cell mutates my red blood cells, right? It doesn't allow my red blood cells to get oxygen where it needs to go, right? Can't deliver it. It's like your red blood cells are Tom Brady throwing a touchdown pass. My red blood cells are pissed off UPS driver throwing your iPhone at the door. So it results in a bunch of stupid symptoms. Like, I'm anemic, which means I get cold very easily. That's why I'm wearing a sweater right now. You know how hard it is to be a man who gets cold easily? You know how hard it is to get bitches with goosebumps? Every time I go out on a date with a girl, my arms start breaking out. She look at me like, oh, are you catching feelings? And I'm like, no, bitch, I'm catching pneumonia. You know? It's a tough illness to have, dog. Every time I give a girl my coat, I'm risking my fucking life. And if I don't do it, I hear stuff like, chivalry is dead. Chivalry is dead. Fuck chivalry. I'm shivering. It's a tough illness to have. Like, it's triggered by alcohol. So I shouldn't drink, but I do. Because how am I supposed to get these hoes? Sickle cell slows down your cellular growth, so I look a lot younger than I actually am. A lot of y'all probably think I'm in my 20s. I'm 67 years old. I do old people shit now, you know? I started taking naps. I used to think sleeping during the day, pish posh. Right? Now I love naps. You ever try to take a nap, but the nap take you? You wake up, it's dark outside. You feel like you got kidnapped for 2 seconds. You're like, today's the day. It's a tough illness to have, man. It made me unrelatable in a way, right? Because I would hear things differently than my friends. When I was in high school, a doctor told me that by the time I'm 25, I'd have to have a gallbladder removed. By the time I'm 30, I'd have to have a hip replacement. Glory to God, none of that has happened, right? Thank you. Yeah. It just made it harder for me to relate to people. Kids in school would be like, Jay Snow, come on, let's play kickball. I'd be like, I can't. Why? I gotta save my head, nigga. I got 10 years worth of good kicks left. You think I'm gonna waste them having fun? I got fucking to do. Trying to have kids, nigga. It's a tough illness to have, man. I get strange mail with sickle cell, you know? I got a letter in the mail from my doctor one time that said I'm at risk of having a non-functioning spleen. And I was pissed because I'm like, I just saw my doctor. He could have told me in person or text me or send me a letter, right? But it made me kind of sad. So I took a picture of it and I sent it to my mom. And she responded with, aha, no 10 kids for you. Love you, Mom. Exactly. I was just as confused, right? So I FaceTimed her, but I don't call it FaceTime because she never holds the phone right. So I chin-timed her, right? I chin-timed her and was like, why would you laugh at me after I just told you I had a non-functioning spleen? She said, spleen? I thought you said sperm. And look, I know this is kind of heavy, right? But understand something. I'm living my dream right now, you know? I traveled the world, you know, I've done things that I wanted to do for my whole life, so I have a good life, right? I just deal with dumb shit all the time, right? Like one of the worst symptoms of sickle cell is the pain. And you know what, these days the FDA released this thing called curative therapies for sickle cell, right? And everybody's DMing it to me, texting it to me, have you heard? There's a cure for sickle cell. And I'm like, no, it's not a cure. That's why they call it a curative therapy. So you can't sue them if the shit don't work, right? And they're not even telling you the worst part about these curative therapies. One of them is $2 million. The other one is $3 million. Sickle cell predominantly affects African American and Latino people in this country. What black or Mexican family you know got $3 million just sitting around? And if they did, I wouldn't use it for this shit. The best that these pharmaceutical companies could do with these curative therapies is incentivize them, right? Just pay black and Latino families $3 million to kill the nigga with sickle cell. I know that's extreme, but it'll cure a few things, right? One, it'll eradicate this illness. Two, it'll give black and Latino families a fair chance at generational wealth. Three, and this is a sadder fact, is we'd have to see America descend into sickle cell Hunger Games edition, you know? You'd have to watch out for booby traps when you go to Burlington Coat Factory. People will start claiming sickle cell who don't even got it. I got sickle cell, where's my $3 million? Sir, you're white. I'm Creole. You'd hear about people dying in strange ways. Did you hear what happened to John? No, what happened? He died. How? He put on a heating pad and had fentanyl in it. It's a strange thing, man. Life is funny, dog. And even when life ain't funny, it's up to you to find a way to make it funny. Because sometimes it's the only way to get through a really dark time, right? And I developed this skill at a very young age, before I even knew I had it. I was 10 years old, right? And my father had just died. Don't worry, I didn't know him any more than y'all did. Right? But I remember it like it was yesterday. It was Thanksgiving, and my Cowboys was losing, right? So my auntie pulled me to the side, and she was like, hey, I gotta tell you something. And I was like, what? And she was like, something happened to your father. And I was like, who? And she was like, stop being a smart ass, right? She was like, your dad got in with the wrong crowd. You know, he started taking some hard drugs. Him and two of his friends broke into a warehouse after hours. While he was inside, this alarm got tripped and the gate started to close. They tried to make a run for it. One person got out, second person got out, the third person was your dad. and he got pinned by the gate, suffocated, passed. Right. My 10-year-old brain couldn't even process this. The first thing I did was just blurt out, "There's no way he got into heaven." My auntie was like, "Why would you say that about your father?" I was like, "Who?" She was like, "Stop being smart ass." Right? She was like, "Why would you say your father wouldn't get into heaven?" And I was like, "Auntie, because if he can't get past the gates on earth, how are we gonna get past it?"
White supremacy is wild to me for a few reasons. First of all, I feel like every white supremacist I've ever seen is pretty much the least supreme looking motherfucker. Like, I've never seen an avowed white supremacist and thought to myself, "Behold, the pinnacle of man." Like it's not a bunch of Hemsworths walking around with swastika tattoos, you know? It's not. Your average white supremacist walks in looking like Busted Magazine's fuck up of the year, 2005. Walks in with a tattoo on his neck of a skull that's got more teeth than he does. Walks in looking like he's about to invent a whole new type of hepatitis. Ain't even thought up yet. Looking like that, talking about supremacy, I think that's wild. I also think it's wild to keep believing in supremacy considering all the L's they've taken over the course of this country's history, you know? Like, I know it's easy to look around right now and feel like they're doing pretty okay, but really they've mostly lost every major battle they've fought up until this point, and they keep talking about supremacy. Like, I feel like the mood of their meetings had to get weirder and sadder over the years, you know? Like, they came into the meeting in 1865, like, okay, so they freed all the slaves. Big whoop. Look, they still can't marry our women. They still can't go to our schools. Hey, how's any of that ever going to change, guys? It ain't like women can vote, okay? It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. 1965, they come into the meeting like, okay, so they can drink from our water fountains now, so we can't legally harass them just for coming into the same diner anymore. But look, there's got to be something we can do to legally harass these people still. Come on. Jimmy, Johnny, Lee, Roy, Leroy, Ricky, Randy, Billy, Bobby, Mike, Steve, Stuart, Stanley, Danny, David. You guys are cops. Put your heads together. We can figure this out. All right, it's not like one of them's the president. 2008, they come in kicking shit over like, okay, all right, this is a tough pill to swallow, I'm not gonna lie. But look, we gotta focus on the positives, guys. Like, hey, it's not like they're gonna start taking the Confederate flag down, all right? They're not gonna start pulling down the statues or renaming the streets or nothing like that. And hey, gay people still can't get married. That's something, right? Some guy in the back's like, aren't some gay guys white men? Shouldn't they be supreme too? It's like, no, Bobby, they don't count. You know that. Listen, we got to focus on the positives, guys. Like, hey, there's still no blacks in country music. Same guy in the back's like, what about Darius? Shut the fuck up, Bobby. Jesus Christ. Gay marriage gets legalized, they're just smoking cigarettes, staring at the wall. Like, I don't know. Y'all know what transgenders are? And they've been flailing with that shit ever since, but they mostly lose, you know? The other reason white supremacy is wild to me is I feel like I never really identified as white. I'm not about to do some Rachel Dolezal shit. That's what I'm about to do. This will make more sense in a minute, I promise. What I mean is, my whole life growing up poor, rural Tennessee, whenever I heard others talk about white people, in my head that was always like Connecticut, Yacht Club, like Dill. Is that Dill? Like in white people, right? Like white people. And I didn't know what I was, but I knew I wasn't the same thing as them. And it was very confusing to me as a young man. Now that I'm an adult, it couldn't be more clear. I'm not white, I'm white trash. Right? And And it is different. It is different. There's a whole list of differences. Like white people got a trust fund. White trash people got trust issues. White people got a sister who's secretly a lesbian. White trash people got a sister who's secretly their mama. White people play golf with their boss on the weekends. White trash people play scratch-offs with their rent money on payday. It's different. The way they have kids is different. Nowadays, white people wait till they're 35 to have kids. They got in vitro clinics, ovulation calendars, fertility stuff. White trash people more fertile than an Amish cornfield, baby. You can't stop us from having kids, no matter how hard you try. The way they name those kids is different. White parents are like, Braden, Paisley, it's time for your piccolo lessons. Right? White trash parents like, Remington, Bassmaster. Quit exploding them frogs, get in the goddamn house. It's different. I know. I have kids. Of course I have kids. I worry about my kids all the time on account of this trash blood I gave them. You know, like I try to raise them right, but I worry at the end of the day my trash blood will be too much for them to overcome, you know? Like nobody should be forced to be giving my blood, dude. Like the Red Cross looks at my family history and they're like, we're good. Thanks, though. Right? Like, thank God for my wife for diluting it with hers a little bit, you know? But like, I love my wife, but she's from a different town in rural Tennessee. Like, her blood ain't top shelf or nothing, you know? Like, let's be honest. Like, my wife's blood is like boxed wine, you know? It's like, it's nobody's favorite, but people can handle it in a pinch, you know? My blood's just moonshine made in a radiator, dude. Like, it's just poison. That's all it is. Right? So I worry all the time about how my kids are going to turn out, right? But believe it or not, living in Los Angeles has kind of helped me with this. Because, like, you live in LA, you look around, you see plenty of rich white kids that are all fucked up too, you know? And it makes me feel better. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's not about the blood. Maybe it's just a crapshoot either way, right? But I got to say, I feel like that's another way in which they're different is childhood trauma. Because, like, rich white kids are like, yeah, my mother was never very emotionally available, and I've got a lot of residual psychological scarring from that. And white trash kids are like, I got beat with a tire iron. I have actual scars from that. Like, you see that? That's a tire iron scar. That's what that is. I believe that's not cool. You shouldn't do what I just did. You shouldn't like diminish other people's trauma just because you didn't personally experience it. But it's a whole thing with poor people. It's so hard for poor people to believe that rich people went through any kind of genuine adversity, no matter what the circumstances were, you know? Like when all that Epstein shit was coming out, I guarantee you there was people in trailer parks all around this country watching that. Like, they got to go to an island? I was in my uncle's El Camino. What the fuck? Yeah. Yeah, that one's rough. I know. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I'm just trying to be a good trash daddy. That's all I'm saying. Trying to be a good trash daddy. Sometimes I worry I've overcorrected. Sometimes I worry that mine are too California-y, you know, like my older son, he's a vegetarian for moral reasons, right? Which, like, that's fine with me, but you know what my papa would say about that? Fucking, he'd get canceled for it. I can tell you that much. It wouldn't be good. I just look at them sometimes, I'm like, man, these kids are soft. They're fucking soft, right? But I realize I'm such trash that what I think is soft is actually just a standard middle-class American upbringing, right? Like, that's all it is. Like my wife went school clothes shopping for them, and she let them pick through what she brought home, and she told me, she was like, yeah, they don't like anything in this pile, so I'm going to return those tomorrow. And I was like, what do you mean they don't like anything in that pile? What does that have to do with anything? They know when I was a kid, school clothes came in a garbage bag after my older cousin went back to juvie. I've been a Raiders fan for 30 years because of that motherfucker. Who gives a shit what they like, right? I'll try to roast them some fresh vegetables. I didn't know you could get vegetables not in a can until I was 28 years old, right? Like, blew my mind. I try to share this wondrous revelation with my children. I'll roast them some fresh broccoli, cauliflower. I'll church it up, put some balsamic drizzle on it, whatever. It don't matter. They're just picky. They just won't eat it. They just don't want it. I'm sitting there like, I ate squirrels, God damn it. Who the fuck do you think you are? The other day, my 11-year-old got cold in the house, so he just went and turned the thermostat up a little bit. Like, didn't ask nobody nothing, didn't say nothing to nobody. Just walked over and just turned it up. I could feel the souls of my ancestors telling me to slap his ass. But I didn't do it. Trying to be a good trash daddy. I am definitely white trash. I want to tell y'all what I think is the single most white trash thing about me. This is a 100% true story. So my parents got divorced when I was 7, and I know you're like, yeah, we figured. Can't believe they were married at all. But yeah, they were. They got divorced back then, early 90s, rural Tennessee. Parents get divorced. Mama just kind of got custody by default. That's just how it worked, you know. So my mom got custody of us, but my dad was like, okay, but they're going to live with me, though. And the judge was just like, ain't you got a Camaro to work on or something? Just let her have them, bro. Right, but we lived with my dad, and because we lived with my dad, he didn't pay her any child support, because in his eyes, that was bullshit. And apparently, that was bullshit is not a formally recognized legal defense for not paying child support, right? You can't just plead that's some bullshit, as it turns out. So my dad accumulated all this debt to the state over the course of his life. When he dies years back, I had to reconcile all that, which I didn't know was a thing, but it is in the right circumstances. For example, if you owe money to the state. It's like everything with money works the same way, really. It's like, you know how like if you got a lot of money in the bank will give you more money for having all that money in the bank, but if you ain't got no money in the bank will charge you money for not having no money in the bank, right? It's like everything works that way with money, including inheritance. It's like if you're rich and your parent dies, you're sad, but you got a new lake house or the throne of England or whatever. Like there's upsides to it. You know, but if you're poor and your parent dies, you're poor plus they're poor. And I'm generationally poor, dude. I come from old no money. Right? So I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. My friends see this. They become concerned. They're like, damn, man, who you owe money to? I was like, I got to pay his fucking child support, man. They're like, heard that, but I thought you had both your kids. No, not on them, on me. I'm so white trash, I got to pay my own child support. And the worst part is I can't stand this little motherfucker. Always laying around my house, eating up my food, starting fights with my wife, talking shit about me in my own head. He sucks. So I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I finally get a call from the state of Tennessee one day. They're being very helpful. They're like, is there anything we can do to help? Like, are there any assets you can liquidate? I was like, what? And they're like, is there any shit you could sell? I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, well, there's the house I grew up in where my Meemaw still lives. And they're like, that's perfect. So what you do is you sell that house, use the proceeds to pay us off, do with the rest as you see fit. And it all kind of clicked for me in that moment. And I was like, so you're telling me that I need to sell the house I grew up in where my Meemaw still lives so I can pay y'all my own child support? And she was like, can we call you back? And I got a call a couple hours later from her manager, and he was like, yeah, listen, don't worry about that. We wiped all that out. We took care of it. And that's the first time in my life that I was like, damn, maybe I am white.
A big red flag for me is if I don't have anything in common, like hobby-wise with somebody. Like, it's such a necessary relationship trait to have, I think. It's so easy to be physically attracted to somebody. Obviously, it's everyone's first instinct. But I think if you want longevity in a relationship, you have to have that extra layer of compatibility, right? You have to want to do things together, I think. So, like, a big red flag for me is, like, if a girl doesn't go to the gym. And that's just because it's a very big part of my life. I love going. I go every day. I'm a very big advocate of going to the gym and working out. And it's so good for your health, not just your physical, but your mental health as well. Get your endorphins going, get some of that stress relief out of you, you know. But I do acknowledge that it's not for everybody. It's intimidating for some people who don't go every day. And I try to be cognizant of that, and I try to help out the best I can. Like, there may be some people in here right now, or maybe watching at home, that want to get started and just don't know how to take that first step. And if there is anybody out there, I highly recommend the program I just started about 6 months ago that changed my life forever. And that program is where I only work out with black dudes. Exclusively. Because black dudes will push you to your limits whether you want to or not. I started about 6 months ago, man. I was in the gym one day, and I was having a bad day. I was stressed about something. I was angry about something, and I was like, man, fuck this. I'm gonna use this negative as a positive. I'm gonna use this aggression. I'm gonna put up some weight. And I was hitting a chest day, so I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna hit a new max on the bench press. So I go in there, put the lighter weights on first, get loosened up, get warm, you know, and then you gotta put on the heavier stuff. And when you do that, you're supposed to have a spotter, so you don't die. And I didn't know anybody in there at the time. Closest person to me was the black dude at the bench next to me. So I walked over, I was like, hey man, would you mind spotting me for this set real quick? And he was like, yeah, I got you. I was like, I feel like you do. Everything about your voice is safe. I feel like I can lift the world now. Okay, come on. So we go over to the bench together. He gets behind the rack in the spot position. He's ready. I lay down, and I'm trying to psych myself up, get in the zone, line up my hands, get a good grip, and finally I just get it off the rack. Oh, I get 1 rep in. Oh, I get 2 reps in. I get stuck on the 3rd. My arms start shaking. And he can see this. So like any good spotter, he has some words of encouragement. I'm trying not to die, and this man just gets in my ear. And do that shit. Do that shit. It ain't nothing. I was like, I don't know, man, I'm getting kind of tired. He was like, my people been tired. I was like, God damn. I'm sorry. It was only like 255. You had white guilt on top of that. It's like 500 pounds, man. I was like, is this pre-workout or a history lesson? What are we doing, dog? I racked that shit up. I was like, I appreciate you, man. I was struggling at the end. He was like, you don't know struggle. Fuck, man. Can't have anything. So that's my new routine whenever somebody's like, you look good, Matt. You want a diet? I'm like, yeah, it's called White Watchers. You should try it. So when black people watch white people struggle, you will sweat. I promise you. This is one of the whitest crowds I've ever seen in my entire life. Bro, I'm uncomfortable. Y'all are so white. Is this a comedy show or a meeting? God damn. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Red flag number, we could try something different. This could be fun, or it could be a fucking nightmare. But I think we can have fun. So the thing is like, I could do red flags for hours. And they could be funny, we could all laugh, have a guaranteed good time, but who wants to do that? So, and a lot of times I don't like to do a lot of red flags because it is very male to female. You know, it's listing things that men don't like about women. And I don't want that to be unfair, one-sided, or sexist. So to even it out, sometimes I am genuinely curious, like for the women in the audience, what might be some red flags for a guy if you go on a date with him? He says or does this that makes you kind of be like, ooh, I don't know. Hold on, I'm gonna go balcony. What is it? Is it a good one? Splitting the check. Okay. Splitting the check. On a first date? He asked in the beginning of the date? Towards the middle? Oh, you were boring. In the middle? Can I get you anything? Yeah, 2 checks? 2 checks would be great. Yeah. So where did you say you were from? How recently was this? 5 months ago. Okay, and you still upset? Hold on. Where did you go to eat?
The Gin in Temple.
What is it?
The Gin in Temple.
The Gin and Temple. What is that? Rude. What kind of restaurant is that?
They have catfish on their steak.
Yeah, catfish and steak. It's like a roadhouse, an expensive roadhouse. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, maybe. Did you like him? Until that moment, did you like him? I'm curious. Until he asked to split the check, were you like, this is going good? You were? Fuck. Oh my God. Did you sleep with him?
Yes.
Wow. Oh my God. He split you and the check in one night. Oh my God. Did he leave a big tip? Hold on, that was an unnecessary detail. What'd you say?
I said he was sweaty when we did it.
He was sweaty after. Yeah, my man was putting in work. That's good. I would think. Well. I'm sorry you got half of a meal. All right, we're 1 for 1. What's another fun one? Do you have a fun one? What is it?
He's taking hormone therapy, but meanwhile he's huge and does steroids.
Ooh. This is gonna get cancelable. Let's do it. So you said when he says he's on hormone therapy, but he's just fucking jacked. So hormone therapy, what's that supposed to do? Balance it out, basically? So what, he says he has too much like natural testosterone?
No, he doesn't have enough.
He doesn't have enough? Okay, how long have you been seeing this man? 25 years? What? Where'd you meet him? You met him when you guys were kids. So he tells you he's going on hormone therapy to get more testosterone, but you think he's on steroids? You know so? Did you find them?
Yes.
Could you get me some? I'm trying to get in gay shape, dog. Let's go. I'm taking all the shortcuts. You did find some? Was it a needle or a pill?
He is gay shape.
She said she thinks he is in gay shape. The plot thickens. Oh my God. This is the bigger red flag now. He has his workout buddies. Do you have a picture of him? I want to see what his gaydar says about. Oh fuck! God damn it! The phones are locked up. God damn. Your phone is in a hormone blocker. God damn it. Okay, after the show, I want to see this. Yeah, I mean, that's a valid red flag. You don't want somebody who's lying about an obvious appearance thing. Like, if you're clearly on steroids, just own up to this shit. It's fine. It's fine to do it. If that's the body you want and the life you want to live, you can fucking do that. It's fine. As long as you can still get your dick up, you fine. He can't, then it's not okay. Stop what you're doing immediately. Stop seeing him. Ugh, okay.
Let's unlock our phone.
Can we unlock your phone? Okay. Okay. Bro, what if it's just a picture of me? Eric's like, unlock the phone. And I'm like, nah, we don't gotta do all that. Let's just take her word for it. Oh my God, that's it? That's what you unlock them with? That fucking flying saucer? May I see your phone? There we go, pass it over. Oh, this is great. This better be worth it. There we go, pass that back to her. There we go, I just gotta see a picture of this guy, and then I wanna see what you think. I wanna test this gaydar, let's go. God damn. Bro, he has the traps that my grandpa's pocket pussy wishes it had. Oh my God. Why is his neck so big? Oh my God, this motherfucker looks so unsure. Okay. Resident gay? What are we thinking? What is it? The pose. He's gay? Ding 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 ding. Any excuse to drink. Go ahead. No, this is good. Whenever we out a gay, an angel gets his wings. This is good. Everybody knows that. You know what's fucked up? I've posed like that before, so I was like,
And whenever I get like a down moment, I think of something about my family that make me feel good, right? Like my mom, really, right? Like I'm 6'4.5". My mama thought I was going to the NBA. Yeah. Like she thought she was gonna never have to work again. Like I was her meal ticket. I was like, lady, don't quit your job, right? Remember my senior year, she came in cursing me out like, you can't make a layup? You can't make a free throw, they fucking free, right? She's like, you ain't never gonna be able to get a scholarship playing like this. I guess I'm gonna be working at Walmart, so I'm 75 fucking with you. I'll be like, hey, how you doing? Welcome to Walmart. My name Marilyn, I'm Sydney mama. Like, who is Sydney? The nigga on the register. Say hi, they talking to you. Like, hey, how y'all doing? Dog, when I was 14, I ain't gonna lie, my dad caught me jacking off, you know what I mean? Yeah. Nah, think about it, because it's funny, because listen, everybody has that moment when you first, like, touch yourself. Mine was Holly Berry and the white dude, right? Monsters Ball, yeah, and she looked at him, she's like, can you make me feel good, right? I'm 14, I'm going to work, right? And I'm like, I never did it before, right? So like, I didn't know where to finish, I didn't plan it, right? So I had a white wicker trash can, I was like, bet, that'll do, right? And I was like, like, you know what I mean? As a grown man, you can control you know what I mean? But at 14, my knee buckled, right? And I'm releasing the best feeling I've ever had in my life, right? And then my dad was in the doorway, he was like, when you're done, I want to talk to you. But I love them, dog. Right, I love my family, dog. That's why when I be looking at like shows like these documentaries, I watch documentaries and see like these Dateline when people be killing their family, that'd be crazy to me, dog. Like you can work that out. Like I was raised like you kill for your family. You know what I mean? But you don't kill your family, dog. And when I watch them shows, they like plan it out. Like that woman want to kill her husband? Oh man. She set it up like clockwork, right? It take her like 6 months. She might like say something slick to let him know. She'd be like, okay, Daniel. I heard you loud and clear. He got like 2 months, he dead, right? But they still slick. On the documentary, they finna kill him. They still slick. They still get him gifts on their birthday, right? A whole cake, keep blowing it out. She walking away. This your last motherfucking birthday, man. Over 6 months, you watch her like playing this out. And when she finally finna do it, she go to the store. They all get the same shit. Some gloves, a shovel, some cement. And they bury their family in the front yard. I'm sitting there watching the show like, this is crazy, right? I love my family, dog. My cousin was kidnapped as a child. True story, right? My uncle played basketball overseas, like in New Zealand, right? And he got with a white woman, right? And you know what I mean? To each his own, to each his own. They had a baby, right? Which was my cousin. Now they came back to Texas and Dallas. They lived in Dallas, right? They got in an argument. One day he came home. It was a note on the bed. You'll never see your daughter again, right? I'm taking her back. She went to New Zealand, right? My uncle was like distraught. He come to my mom, who's the oldest in their family, right? He's like, she took my baby, right? Now I know I've seen my mama act tough. She from Gary, Indiana, right? I didn't know she had Liam Neeson in her though, right? She's like, where's the girl? Where's the girl, right? My uncle losing his shit. She took her. My mama took her where, all right? New Zealand. My mama doing the calculation. She's like, where that is, right? My mama's only been to Indiana, California, and Texas. She's never left the country before. Never. But she was like, I gotta go get the baby, right? So she gangster. She took a passport, $60, right? She went with some federal agents. They went to New Zealand. They walked up on this white lady in a grocery store. Yeah. She's scanning fruits thinking it's all good, for real, yeah. Dog. She walk up in her, right? This white lady's like scanning, you know, boom, boom, beep, beep. Right? My mama walk up on her. Hey, how you doing? Right? She turned around, she panicked. She said, don't panic, where my baby at? Right? My cousin was right there. My cousin, she said, come here, right? Authorities took her away. My mama got on a plane, took her back to the States, right? Right? Yeah. So then, my cousin is now raised in my mom's house, right? My uncle not doing that well, fine. My mom's, that's her brother. They both in the house, right? My mom was a teacher, so she always made sure she was smart. Got her like toys that was like books. I was like, get her a fucking toy. She liked to read. I'm like, you forcing it on her? You know what I mean? She do good. She ranked in mock trial throughout the, you know what I mean? It's like she doing very well. She goes to Dillard University, right? Now I go see her graduation. It's a beautiful thing. Michael Ealy is there talking about my cousin. He's like, we don't need more Oprahs. We need more of Sydney's cousin. I'm crying. I'm in the back crying, dog, right? She want to be a lawyer. She like, I've been on TV since she been a kid. I won a TV show, Funniest Wins, in 2014. She was like a freshman in high school. So my whole career, she's been like looking up to me, right? She accepted at Brown University. I make her my assistant. I said, boom, let's get this money, right? I'm in New York. I'm doing well. I'm like, look, all you got to do, watch my mom, right? Because my mom can't do for herself right now. Right? So just watch my mom, right? I work, just set me up on my tour. You know what I mean? She's in emails with my management. Boom, we have a little system, right? It's my little cousin, right? I got my mom set up, right? She's in a new place. She got like 60 grand in a savings account, right? Now, I'm not bragging, but I be working, but So her bills come out of my business card, so it's no reason for my mom to even go into the savings because she can't do that anymore. She can't go to the bank and do things like that anymore. So that's why I have my cousin helping, right? So I'm in New York writing on the show, you know what I mean? After I'm done, I come back, I go to the bank, I'm finna put some money in my mom's savings account. It went from 60,000, I checked the balance, it was $37 in my mama's account. Yeah. You would immediately start praying, that's hilarious, right? So I asked my mom, I said, Mom, what happened to the money in your account, right? My mom was like, oh, my brother, he opened up me an account under his name, right? I said, okay, mama, okay, 1 second, right? I'm finna call him. You never know what to trigger you, right? So I called my uncle, I said, hey, did you open up my mother's account without my permission? He's like, oh, well, I opened it up so she can get her Social Security and get her retirement because you can't get it in the savings. I said, why didn't you tell me before you did that? And he goes, well, I'm her brother. And that's the first time I snapped. I said, motherfucker, I'm her son. My dad dead, my brother dead. I'm the last. Don't you ever make a decision without involving me again. He was like, okay. I said, the money that was in the other account, did you transfer it to this new account? He goes, oh, no, I didn't. I said, well, it's about $60,000 missing. He was like, I ain't had nothing to do with that. And he hung up, right? And I started laughing because I was like, I'm about to go to jail. That's crazy. Like, it's been nice knowing y'all. Like, I've had a good career, right? People always ask you, would you be willing to sit in the bathroom for 20 years? Absolutely. Hand me my pillow. I'm funny. I'm going to be the funniest nigga in prison, but I'm going. Right? I was so irate, dog. I didn't know what I was, all these thoughts in my mind, dog. Somebody didn't fuck with my mama, dog. And I'm like, right? And I'm with my boy Snow, and Snow is like, yo, you should chill. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying, you know what I mean? I'm trying to chill, because I don't know what's going on right now. You know what I mean? So my cousin, you know what I mean? She hits me. She's like, I think my daddy had something to do with it, right? She crying. I said, yeah. She was like, yeah. I said, oh, okay, cool, I'm gonna call you back, right? Because now, for the first time in my life, I don't trust nobody. Right? I don't trust nobody, and I'm not even trying to be dramatic. I don't trust nobody, dog, except my mama, right? And then my cousin called me back, and she was like, hey, Sydney, I have something to tell you. I said, what's up, right? She was like, I found out what happened. I said, what happened? She said, your mom used to send me money while I was in college. And I think she just forgot. She just kept sending me money. So she just keeps sending me money, going to the bank, sending me money. I said, yeah, how much money she sends you? She was like, oh, close to like $40,000. I said, oh, where the money at? Well, that's the thing. I never really kept checking my balance. I just kept spending, and I guess I went through it. I said, well, here's the lie. I said, my mama can't go to the bank and do that and transfer money. She doesn't know how to do the apps. I said, so you lying to me, right? And I hung up the phone, right? And my boy Chris, he's a Christian, right? Yeah. I'm a Christian too, but it's important that you know. He's more Christianer than me. When Chris found out what happened, he raced to my house, right? And he started praying for me immediately. He did. Chris, a praying dude, right? He touched my shoulder. He's like, close your eyes, right? And he started praying. But you know what I mean? My eyes wasn't closed. I love God, but I wasn't on that shit right now. And I'm just opening up. He was like, God in control. I was like, it don't feel like it. He's like, God in control. I was like, all right, bet. And he started praying. I just walked off during his prayer. I went to the store, right? And I bought me some gloves. A shovel. And some cement. Because I was going to bury my fucking family, right? It's triggering because people always give me their opinion. They be like, I would have did this, I would have did that. Like, I don't think about that, right? But you got to put things in perspective, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? My friend told me, my homegirl Ebony, she said, Sydney, if you go do something to them, what if God take your mom? Just to show you that he's still in control and you're not in control. And I took 2 of the bullets out the gun. I said, keep going. They're not gonna get this whole clip, but you make it sense.
I get asked the question, how did I get into comedy? I get asked by middle class people because I'm a working class person. Any other working class people in? Oh, more than usual, because we're in Blackpool. Lovely. And Very proud to be working class, and I have friends from different backgrounds, which I'm very happy about. You know, I've got a lot of middle class friends now. I've got working class friends. My middle class friends know that I'm working class, by the way, because they refer to me as salt of the earth. And we know what that means, don't we? It means, oh, you're quite articulate and intelligent for a deprived person, but don't you even dare fuck my brother. That's what that means. That's what that means. You know, and of course, my favourite friends, I have to say, my favourite group of friends are my working class friends, because I've known them the longest. You know, it's a group of women that I've known since I was around 3 years old. We meet up twice a year, we go for a Toby Carvery on a Sunday, and we wake up on Wednesday in Ibiza. And that works for me. That's perfect. That's all I need. There's differences between the friendship groups. I mean, if you're middle class, how you shop is different. If you are a middle class person, you definitely shop at a place called Oliver Bonas. Are we familiar with Oliver Bonas? I don't think it's hit Blackpool yet. But let me tell you what Oliver Bonas is. I'll describe it to you. It's a shop. It's tap for cunts. That's what it is. You're nodding. That's what it is. It's landfill for posh people. That's what it is, right? How you shop denotes your class. I mean, I think if you're middle class, you're more likely to get your groceries delivered. My middle class friends are like, oh my God, it's so easy. You're looking at each other. Who does it? Oh, you think you're better than us, do you? Yeah, okay. Shame on you. Middle class people are always like, oh my God, it's so easy. You just press the button, it just appears at the door with a man in a van. And sometimes I give him £10, you know, so you can pop it in my cupboards, because I can't because of my... I'm like, oh, why? Because of your back. No, my sense of entitlement. Working class people, not you, working class people, we go to the shops. We get our shopping on foot and by hand. And these are my earliest memories. My earliest memories are doing an entire week shop on foot and by hand, whatever the weather, pissing down rain, blazing sun, walking to Asda and back, carrying everything, right? And if you've got a mum like mine, you can't ever ask for any respite. You cannot ask, Mum, do you mind if we just get a taxi with all this shopping? Get a taxi. Do you think I made her money? Well, can we get a bus and just get a few stops? Because I'm 4 years old and it's cutting into my hands, Mum. Like, I'm bleeding here. Really? Do you think I'm getting on a bus with all this shopping, having people know I've no money for a taxi? Fucking move. Look, I don't think a trip to Asda should evoke the words of World War I poet Wilfred Owen. Do you remember that one? Bent double, like old beggars, under sacks. Not need, coughing like hags. Don't cough either. Your mum's like, what are you coughing for there? Have you not got your inhaler? Because we don't get back in 6 minutes and that Viennetta melts. I will fucking batter you. Look, I am not being dramatic. But there are donkeys in sanctuaries that have had easier lives than me, okay? I'll say this as well, right? I'm terrible with money. I've never got any money. I don't know what to spend it on. I've just never got any money. Right, and I think what it is, it's ancestral with me, with money, right? I think my ancestors would have been like, we've been paid by Mr. Goodfellow from the mill. But we might die of cholera under a spinning jenny in the morning. So let's try and have a laugh now, shall we? Honestly, you give me money, I'll piss it up the wall. I've never got any. I think middle class people, you're a lot more careful with your money, and by that I mean tight. I don't know if you've ever been on holiday with middle class people. Do you want to put your hand in your pocket at some point, right? These people never pay for anything. And it starts before the holiday, because what they do is, wherever you're going, you're like, oh, right, we'll look for accommodation. No, don't look for accommodation. I used to go to university with somebody who knew somebody who lived there. I'll get in touch with them, right? And you're nodding. This is what it's like. So, you know what? If you live in a city that people want to visit, I mean, the people of Preston can't understand this bit. If you live in a city that people want to visit, right, and you have a spare room, brick it up. Brick it up. Don't let these people know that it is there, because they want to use you like a free Airbnb, right? And the worst is, I hate people staying at my house. I hate it. Right? Does anyone else hate it? Yeah, I hate it, right? And the worst is, I can never say no. If someone asks to stay at my house, I can't say no. Why? Because I'm salt of the earth. I hate it, right? The reason I hate it, a number of reasons. Mainly, it's because I've got OCD. I have obsessive compulsive disorder. We're very familiar with OCD now, and basically what it is, it's where you like things a particular way, right? You like to routine, pattern in your life, you do things a certain way because you think if you do that, you're in control and nothing bad's going to happen. That's what it's like. It's a psychological disorder. I'm ever so brave. Now, I have OCD officially and not fashionably as well, just so you know that. I have an actual diagnosis from a doctor and not off TikTok, okay? And the worst is when people come to your house, right, and they stay at your house, things change, you know, it's different. Suddenly, you're sitting in a different chair. You're sitting in a chair that you never sit in. You're looking at your life from a different angle. You're like, is this the director's cut of my existence? Because I don't think I like it, right? Then they start making new rules, you know, as if it's they go, oh, should we go out for breakfast? No, I live here. My food is in the cupboard. I've got OCD. I've got to eat cornflakes at 7 a.m. every day for the rest of my life or my family dies. Listen, right, people, you're disgusting. You are. All ears, right? Listen, no offence, but you are. You have bits that fall off and out of you. You're sitting here thinking, oh, I'm dead clean, me. You're not. There's skin falling off you. Hair, nails, farts out the back, unwanted opinions out the front. Right? You're disgusting, right? The rules, these are the rules. If you want to stay at my house, first of all, you've got to shave off all your body hair. Hey, and I mean all of it. I want that gooch bald. Okay? I bet that's the first and last time that he's ever said in this venue. If you don't know what that means, don't Google it. Don't, right? And if you want to use the toilet, there is a pub down the road. You are not using my toilet. It's not happening. It's not happening. And this comes from experience, right? From experience. And why? Let me tell you. 2 of my friends came to stay at my house, right? And they stayed for 3 days. But it's never 3 days, is it? It's not. It's 3 days and a bit, because they never go, do they? The 4th day, they're still there. An extra day, right? They're still there. Go, please. I want my life back, right? 3 days. The first day, you go into it with a bit of optimism. You're thinking, do you know what? This might be fun. The second day, you're ordering a book off Amazon called The Power of Saying No. The third day, you're like, well, do you know what? I think I better put them on the council tax because I don't think they're going anywhere. I don't want to get in any trouble, right? And then the 4th day, they're leaving. Now, these 2 friends of mine, on the 4th morning, that wasn't agreed, right? The late checkout that wasn't requested, right? One of them, and I think I know which one, blocked my toilet. Yeah? You're shaking your head, you're appalled. They didn't say anything, right? Now, they knew that they'd done that. They knew that there was no way that they could... Do you know what it feels like, right, as a proud person, to have to ring a plumber, and that plumber come to your house, your safe environment, and that plumber say to you, yeah, the thing is, darling, someone's just had a massive shit in your toilet. And for him to think that that's you, right? Because you're the only person there at that point, or because they've scarpered by then, don't worry about that, right? And he thinks you're weird anyway because there's taxidermy in the house, which is a different story for a different time, right? Now my friend, right, knew that they'd done that. They knew that they couldn't have not known, and they didn't even have the decency. They didn't even have the decency to take their own life. Harsh? I don't think so. I think that would have been a real apology. That's what that would have been. Something for me, you know? A bit of shame and a bit of dignity shown. That's what that would have... I mean, of course I don't want that to happen. I don't want anyone to take their own life. I don't want that to happen, you know? But middle-class friends, my middle-class friends, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that because they're very vocally depressed. Very vocal depressed. That's the good depressed, isn't it? Vocal, you know? I miss brooding depressed. I think that ended in the mid-noughties. Do you know, you'd go into a pub and you'd see a bloke with a pint and he'd be staring at you and you'd think, look at him, I bet he likes the Smiths. You know, or you'd see a woman and she's got a glass of wine and she looks really sad and you think, I wonder what she's thinking about. Poetry and lesbian experiences, you know. And then you find out they've jumped off a bridge. I mean, a different time. I don't want that time back. It was just a more peaceful time. Now, we are talking now. And listen, I've just spoke about OCD, so that's absolutely fine. You know, I've mentioned OCD. The thing is, though, my middle-class friends just never shut up. The middle-class friends, they never shut up about it. One of my friends said to me the other day, she went, I just feel that I've got nothing to get up for in the morning. I was like, why are you crying? I'd love to feel like that. I love to open my eyes and go, nobody in the world needs me. I'm technically useless. Whatever happens today can and will happen without me. Please stop crying. This is great news. Take the razor off your wrist. We're going to Blackpool.
Walking around my neighborhood, walked past a Girl Scout selling cookies at a table with her mom next door. I walked close to the table. I saw the Girl Scout was signing autographs for people. So I was like, oh, you a movie star? Her mom's like, her picture's on the box. I looked down at the box. Her picture was on the box. I'd never seen this before. I freaked out. Then I got a little competitive. I was like, well, the only reason I ask is I'm actually a movie star. I don't know what movies you've seen at your young age, little Janie, but I bet you saw one called Pootie Tang. You remember the guy in the car? You're talking to him. What about the wrestler? Did you see that one, little Janie? Yeah. I got to go to the Venice Film Festival for the premiere, huh? I mean, they made me pay my own way, but when I got there, they let me watch a movie. Yeah, $3,300 flight. $700 for a tux, yeah. Anyway, give me a box of Samoas, make it out to top. Good to be back on stage at a real venue. Comics have been doing some weird gigs over this pandemic. Used to be you'd get a text from a comic, be like, hey, have you done that new club in St. Louis? Did they put you up in a nice hotel? Now it's like, have you done that fire escape show in Staten Island? How many hand washing stations do that? Been tested for COVID like 38 times. At some point I realized it's something to do. I was like, oh, this is an activity, isn't it? This should be in Time Out New York's free stuff to do this week. I'd hear about a testing site that had an hour wait. I'd be like, all right, that'll work. Until I can find one with a 2-hour wait. Tried to make it a social event, called my friend Phil up. I go, Phil, let's go get tested together. It'd be great. We'll walk 6 feet apart, stand in line 6 feet apart. Be a great COVID hang. It's like, Todd, I don't need to get tested. I've been quarantining. And also, I need to go to the Apple store. You can do both those? Reminds me of the time I was in solitary confinement, needed to go to Supercuts. Went to get a COVID test, and nurse said, I'm going to swab each nostril for 10 seconds. This is the way she counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was like, I'm a busy guy, but I did block off the full 20 seconds. Wasn't looking for express service on this. I'd hate to get stitches from you. I'm going to give you 10 stitches. 1, 2, 9, 10. Get out of here. I just freed up some time in your day to show off your gaping wounds. People got mad if you got the vaccine too soon. You hear these conversations, you get vaccinated? Yeah. Oh, how'd that happen? Oh, I have asthma. Oh, you have asthma. That's interesting. I'm saying I've known you for 2 hours. You've never mentioned that you have asthma. Got mine a little early. Got my sticker saying I got vaccinated. Posted on Instagram. Thought people would be happy for me somewhere. Others are like, I want to know how you got that vaccine. Then someone else would write in, yeah, I was about to ask them that myself. Then a third person would be like, you guys both beat me to the punch on this one. How did he get that jab? It's like, calm down, fellas. I'm about to post a screenshot of my medical records. It is your business. I was really good about wearing my mask. Gotten a few actual altercations with anti-maskers. Cannot believe how brave I was. I'd be at Bed Bath & Beyond and be like, hey, you. I'm talking to you, 17-year-old stock clerk. See the guy by the salad spinners? No mask, get him. Yeah, grab that set of carving knives. That's a big dude. You're a little guy. And I'm headed for the exit. I'm not even gonna pay for these scrub daddies. I was in Burlington, Vermont, got into a taxi, and I saw the driver didn't have a mask on. I said, do you have a mask you can put on? He's like, I do, but you're not gonna like it. I was like, oh yeah, I think I am gonna like it. Please pull out the hilarious novelty mask. This guy pulls out a mask and says, Biden is as useless as this mask. Oh, you got him. Powerful stuff. He's going to be sad if he ever reads that, if he's straddling your rearview mirror. Then the guy said, this new variant, it's just bronchitis. That's what my doctor told me. Oh, was your doctor adjusting your back while he told you that? Subtle chiropractic reference. Always brings the house down. Good year for doctors to be on TV. Sanjay Gupta, oh my God, they put that guy to work. Especially early on in the pandemic, he'd be on CNN like, hi everyone, I'm Sanjay Gupta, I'm a neurosurgeon. And today I'm gonna teach you how to sanitize a Nutri-Grain bar. I repeat, I'm a neurosurgeon. I do brain surgery. I could be doing brain surgery right now. In fact, someone isn't getting brain surgery. Because I'm standing here with a tub of Clorox wipes, about to teach you how to do something you don't actually need to do. But more on that in 8 months. Had to learn how to cook during the pandemic, went on TikTok for recipes. Every recipe on TikTok is speed-oriented. Like, do you want to make a 25-second breakfast? Start the clock. I started to embrace the idea of cooking, but then there's always that ingredient deal breaker. I'd be watching the chef on the screen, and I'd be like, oh, come on, man. You think I have rice vinegar? You know I don't have rice vinegar. Look at me, you know I don't have it. 3 people in the world have rice vinegar. You and your 2 roommates. Realized how lazy I was about cooking. I'd read the directions on a microwave burrito. I'd be like, heat on high for 1 minute, then flip over. I didn't go to Le Cordon Bleu Culinary Academy. I'm gonna see if I can slam this out in 1 step. No basting. Glad we're eating out again. I've had some great exchanges with waiters and waitresses over the years. There's an actual exchange I had with a waiter at an Italian restaurant in New York City not too long ago. Hi, is it possible to get a decaf espresso? You're the worst. Okay. I don't mean to be all lawyerly, but that was a yes or no question. But if you want to go with you're the worst, that works fine. Anyway, give me a decaf espresso with a big spoon of ketchup in it. Now I'm really bad. I was in a diner in Oklahoma. I ordered a salad, and she goes, what kind of dressing? I said, Italian. She leaned in and whispered something to me, but I didn't understand her. I go, what's that? She goes like, it's not good. What's not good? The Italian dressing. It's not good. It's not good. What's not good about it? It's not that tangy. Maybe you and I have different standards for tangy. Which dressing should I get? I'd go with Thousand Island. I don't like Thousand Island. I'll have the Italian. Are you sure it's not good? What part of it's not good, don't you understand? We'll end that one right there. There was like 4 points I could have gotten out of that joke, and I just kept going. Felt so comfortable with you guys.
I did fly recently. How about that? Yeah, I flew. And yeah, I went to Europe with some friends last year, and I was watching a movie on the flight. Have you ever been watching a movie on a long flight, and then there's like a softcore sex scene in the movie? I had never felt like a bigger pervert in my life. I was leaning into the guy next to me. I was like, this is like a normal movie, by the way. I was like, I don't even like sex. I'm just a big costume design guy. I'm just waiting to see who did that. Credits, yeah. But the scene just like kept going on, you know? I leaned back over to him at one point. By the way, he hadn't said anything to me. I was like, this is what people do, you know? I was like, they have sex, so grow up. I was like, we're all adults here. Except for the 8-year-old to my right. How you doing, buddy? I don't know. I just put my headphones in and went back to masturbating, but it was really cool. You guys have got to go to Europe if you can. Yeah. You got to go, yeah. I went to this town in Poland with some friends, and we stayed in the town. Auschwitz is right outside of the town. And we did everything. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't know until I got there. I didn't know either. I got there and I found out. I was like, is it really? Okay, cool. Okay. I was like, so are we going there? Like, and people were like, you have to go if you're here. And I was like, shit, dude, I did not like plan for that, you know? Just like psychologically. And so we didn't go over the course of like 3 days. We had 1 day left. And we're at dinner the night before the last day, and we're like, okay, well, tomorrow, I guess we'll go to Auschwitz. And because you should go if you're here. And then we got a text from a guy we met the first night in Poland, and he said, hey, do you guys want to go go-karting tomorrow? And then we had like a crazy decision to make, which is, do we go to Auschwitz or do we go go-karting? We're at the dinner, and I said, is there a world in which we do both? Just throwing it out there, you know? And my friend said this, and he wasn't trying to be like funny or ironic. He goes, wow, that sounds like the perfect day. I was like, I don't know about the perfect day. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's what it is. And then the debate became, which do we do first? Auschwitz or go-karting, you know? Because I feel like if we go go-karting first, there's a chance we like yawn through Auschwitz. That's not good. No, the logical choice is to go to Auschwitz in the morning and have go-karting as like a pick-me-up in the afternoon, you know? But the problem with that is I feel like everything at go-karting would remind me of Auschwitz, you know? You'd be like, all right, guys, jewelry right over here, and whenever you're ready, hit the gas. All right. Oh, boy. Be like, no, I can't go go-karting. Yeah, I don't know. The next day we overslept, and it was like noon. We're like, okay, we only have time for one. I'm not going to say which one we went to, but let me just say this. It is still operating in its original intention. And we went to the go-kart place, and but they were like closed. He was like, we just closed, but we have tickets to the Auschwitz Museum. We're like, nah, just keep on. We're just gonna get out of here, dude. So, yeah. And listen, I know I look like a guy who works at Auschwitz, but like, I am glad that it's closed, right? In its original intentions. Sometimes I do that bit and they're like, where does this guy stand on this? Another place I'm glad that is also closed are those quasi-legal weed shops that were around New York for the last couple of years. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? If you're not from here, they legalized weed a couple of years ago, but they didn't roll out the licensing till recently. So for 2 years, there was like these weed stores that were unlicensed, and they were operated by the same people who sold me weed in high school. And they were high during the job. And it was completely disorganized. Like, I went into one of those places, and I went up to the counter, and there were weed crumbs all over the counter. And I didn't care about that, but the lady behind the counter looked at the weed crumbs and looked back at me, and she was like, oh, hold on, let me blow the weed crumbs onto the ground. So scoot over, and I'll blow the weed crumbs on the ground. And I was like, that's definitely not how you clean that, right? But, so I'm like, whatever. So I move over to the left, and then she goes, and none of the weed crumbs move anywhere. And then there's another guy behind the counter laughing at her who's like, oh, you can't blow the weed crumbs on the ground. And she was like, shut up, it's because I'm sick. Dude, what the fuck just happened? I walked into a place 15 seconds in. I gotta move over because I'm in the way of a health and safety violation that you can't perform because of a different health and safety violation. You know how crazy that is? That's like when you go into the bodega and you're like, why are there cats here? And they're like, because of the rats. And you're like, all right, got it. It's a double violation. Even if they would just like held themselves to the same standard as a bodega, I feel like that would be a good start, you know? I don't go to the deli to get a chopped cheese and the guy's like, move over, I gotta blow the ground beef on the ground. I can't, I have COVID. What do you want? She asked me what I wanted. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm good on weed forever. Yeah. I don't know. It was a huge wake-up call.